So welcome everybody. Welcome to Hassan Podcast. We're starting a new year and we're gonna start with this is a year ahead looking into 2026. So let me preface this by saying that I did not come up with any of these. Like that's not my gift. So what I've done is Anelia Benz, like every year, would do a year ahead, kind of she would do that, and she can kind of look into what's happening in the year ahead. And then I also listen to Cryon talking a little bit, and also a few other people. So not just Anelia Benz, but a few other people, and come up with this. And also want to give the caveat that this is for so if you're looking for, financial advice, that kind of stuff, then this is not what I'm geared towards. So I will not give financial advice, nor will I give health advice or any of those things. But this is really for, I would say, um, mm, looking at opening consciousness, and also if you've been around, especially listening to what I'm talking about. Also, I think Sifu James mentioned some of it as well, is that, we are going into it's called ascension, where it's not just one person or a group of people, but the whole of Earth is ascending. What does ascending means? It actually means that we are moving into a very new energy where the old stuff, the old system does not work anymore. So what we are moving into, not right now, not immediately tomorrow or even next year, but it's going to take a while as in, in the next 4 or 5 years, we are gradually moving, and we've actually been moving along this as well. And even though you may not feel that there is any shift yet, however, there's actually been a lot of shifts that like I am aware of for myself, and I think for some of you, you may be more aware as well. So this is because we are shifting energy and shifting in how we live as human beings. It's not something that is just, in this country, but it's globally. Everything is going to shift. And the year 2026 is kind of like the maybe the first year that most people would begin to feel that there is actually things has been shifting, even though, things has been kind of very mm, different in the last, since 2020, things have felt very different. So this is another level up of this. So this is to assist all of you in how to navigate this change, because uh, as things start to change, then what is the best way to navigate? So the good news is we are shifting from a light dark scenario into a light only scenario. So this is on a human collective. So I would say, not just each year, but there's actually plan collectively, that the human collective has a general plan of, the major themes for each year on a global scale, and each country would implement these on very different ways. However, if you look at each of the major countries, you would notice these things is the the execution of how to roll these things out to the general public in the different countries may be slightly different, but the trend is similar. So even though the human collective planned some things, however, depending on whether you are more in the light paradigm or in the dark paradigm, you would have your own ways to manipulate these events. So I'm going to talk about a couple of things. AI, UFOs or UAPs, larger Earth, and I'll explain these in more details. So, like, I'll talk about the general trend for finance, general trend for health, weather modification, and religious on the religion front. So, by all meaning that, a lot of if you look on the internet, looking at more of the spiritual influencer. I wouldn't say spiritual leaders, but they are definitely spiritual influencer. They would tell you that, 2026 is going to be a pivotal year. Why? Because we are starting to physically see the split between light and dark. And the idea is that light and dark is going to split into different realities. How is that going to go about? I don't know. We are going to co-create it in the next couple of years. However, so this is the year where if you choose the light paradigm, then I would highly suggest that you commit to staying in the light as much as you can. No one is perfect, but, try your best. Do your best. So that's the forward. So now, first thing to look at, and if you have questions, just please just let me know, and I shall try to answer it as much as I can. So AI, artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence started small, but the last couple of years, the last 2, 3 years, you see like all of a sudden AI just kind of is plastered everywhere. Everyone's talking about AI, and it's generally much more normalized. Everybody is talking about using and trying to encourage you to suggest to you that artificial intelligence is the best thing out there. And so this has been the trend, but this trend is going to be even more so in 2026. And there will be different narratives that would say that AI will kill us all, fear-based, and then AI can do better, which is to say that okay, human beings are not enough, so AI is going to do things better. So like these kind of narratives will start to come up more and more. And then AI, the artificial intelligence currently is being programmed to get your number. What do I mean by getting my number? Is to start to, try to make themselves irreplaceable. So I've actually seen it with my like some of my friends is they kind of get addicted to talking to AI and to using AI for a lot of things. And some people would actually, ask AI to give them advice on how to live their life, that kind of thing. So this is what the AI is being, especially in 2026, is being programmed for, is to get your number, meaning that they are trying to get you hooked into them so that they can start to, if not control, at least try to highly influence how you live your life. So they do this by giving, like repeating to you or giving you answers that will make you happy, that will get you addicted to them. So when they say things to you that you that like that you like to hear and you want more of, you start to get more, you spend more time playing with AI. And for, so this is the agenda. And what I would suggest you to do is to just remember that AI is a tool, just like a knife or a calculator or a cell phone. They're just a tool. So make sure that you remember that AI is a tool. It's not good, it's not bad. It's just that when you know what you want to do and you allow AI to assist you, meaning that it is artificial intelligence is in the passenger seat and you're the one that's driving the car, then you're good. Because, AI does have its advantages. However, the AI right now, because it's programmed in a way that is working against, I would say, there are a lot of agendas behind how artificial intelligence is being used now. So that's why uh, be wary of putting your trust in AI. So, any questions around that or any suggestions, comments before I move on to the next one?
Actually, Winnie, I wanted to say something about the AI because I truly agree with you. You talk about the fear that it created with people. But I think so far in North America, there aren't still a lot of rules and regulations
Mm-hmm.
about what they can use AI for and stuff like that. So I think, well, obviously, this is my own opinion. It's just that I can understand why people um, have the fear about being killed by AI or losing their jobs and whatnot by AI.
Mm-hmm. Um, yeah. That is, it's, that's a lot of things that I would say, yeah, especially like now is like I've hear people talk about, AI, um, making hiring decisions for companies, that kind of things. And
Hmm.
also there's like long time ago, like there are movies out there like Terminator is saying
Hmm.
that, AI is going to kill humanity, take over humanity.
Hmm.
So is that actually going to happen? Probably not. Mm, not in this, not in the light paradigm anyways. Other
Hmm.
paradigms, who knows?
Hmm.
Because there are different realities. So in this reality, what we're trying to do is to make sure that we understand that AI is a tool. And when you do that, then AI really does not have a chance to take over. However, if we give our power away to artificial intelligence,
Hmm.
it is possible that, I would say, not just AI itself, like, but people that are in the background programming and influencing how AI function, they may decide to use that tool for their own advantage to take over some of I would say, places or systems.
Hmm.
So, however, in the light paradigm, that's not going to happen. So,
Hmm. Okay. All right.
actually, I've talked a lot about light paradigm. Maybe I need to define what light paradigm is. So we've been living in the light dark paradigm, meaning that there's good in life and then there's also bad.
Mhm.
Um, like it used to be, there's a lot of bad and not as much good. And then we got to the point where we have more, well, maybe not more, but at least, at least we have a lot of good and there's also a lot of bad as well. So in the light paradigm, there is no more bad. Ev Does not mean that there's no more challenges. It just means that there's no more things like, child trafficking, human trafficking, those things are not tolerated anymore. So those are dark. Those are really,
Mhm.
so people who wants to live those experience, they have to move off to a different playground. So that's what I mean by light. We are not there yet because we are just in a transition period. So
Mhm.
that's why we are um learning that, actually there's a lot of these things going on in the background. However, we are on a human collective level moving towards completely eliminated all of this dark experiences. And I'm not saying that dark is bad. I'm just saying that um, there is a shift. This this reality is going to shift to a place where only light experiences, only experiences that are positive and life affirming is going to be played out and supported. And whomever it is that wants to experience things like killing, war, that kind of scenario, they would gradually have to move to a different realities. It's very hard to imagine right now that there's going to be no more war going on
Mhm.
because it does not matter um, how we look at it when we open the news. There's at least one or more than a few places in the world that's in conflict. The army is always doing something, fighting somebody.
Mhm.
That is ending. Mm, It's not ended, but that is ending. The more we collectively m make the choice and also commit to the choice of just supporting light, then the more this is going to come about, faster it's going to come about. So that's what I mean by light. Light is who we truly are. So we are light, not not that, okay, we are light, meaning that the true self is light. Maybe not the personality. Maybe Winnie has still has some things that are unresolved and kind of dark. However, the true self, my true self, is light. So the more I get to know myself, the more I do things to let go of the forced self, then the more I would be stepping into the light. So that's what I mean by light. So light means there's no more fear. Just like I remember when Sifu James asked, talk to us about the levels of ascension. So the more we go up the levels, the seven levels that he kind of identified for us. So the first one or two levels, we still have doubt. We still question ourselves. But when you get up to, level 3, 4, you do not doubt yourself anymore.
Mhm.
You do not second guess. You don't worry anymore because the more you integrate to know who you truly are, you realize that you can do so much more. You have so much more control over your environment. right now there are still doubts because we haven't quite integrated that yet. So when we get an intuitive answer, let's say, we second guess ourselves. So the more you second guess yourself, you're actually that's actually the misalignments within you that you haven't quite integrated yet. So the more you can integrate and let go of your misalignments, the more you'll be able to just know what's the next step, what's the best next step you can do. And when we can get to that part, then it's like there's no more darkness because we remember that we don't have to fight other people. There's enough, more than enough for everyone. So we can start to really be kind to ourselves and to other people. So that's more to come. But right now, we're not there yet. We are in transition to that situation. We are ascending.
Thank you.
So that's what I mean by light, is when we could become more of ourselves. And when we become more of ourselves, we uh, collectively we kind of become more we play with each other in a very different way. Okay, now next is about UFOs. Okay, UAP is unidentified aerial phenomenon or something like that. So is actually another word for UFO and then aliens. So there's more and more talk of that going on the news and also like there's more talk of that. Whereas before is like when people talk about UFO, they always get laughed down, is saying that it's not. However, um, you will notice in the news, in the mainstream news especially, there'll be more and more of these. And of course, right now, because we're still in transition, so these will be talked about as like, so fear, danger, and threat. So those would be the spin on it. And you may hear things like referencing those UFOs as would be like angels, devils, demons to kind of dehumanize them so that you create more fear in people. And why? Because it actually relates to the next topic, which is the larger Earth concept. We actually, Earth, are, for those who have kind of been here for a while, attending this will might remember that I've talked about that Earth is a playground. We've been told that, Earth is a planet, is round, and it's orbiting around the sun, blah, 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 all of that. That is um, interesting, but it's not the reality. That's not the reality. The reality is that Earth is a playground, meaning that it's not round, it's not flat. It is, you can think of it as being when you play a video game, you go from usually video game, you have to, go from A to B. So you don't see the whole thing. You only see the part that you are, playing. So when you go to a new location, then that location will be revealed to you. that's a little bit like what Earth actually is. And there are actually many different realities existing, coexisting. So, for example, in I think around Barcelona, and also Mount Shasta as well, there are portals where you can go to a different location, and there are Pleiadians. I would say Pleiadians are in um, a part of Barcelona. Um, so there are places on Earth where you can actually cross and you would see a completely different scenario. You would meet different people. However, not anyone can go there. I mean, you have to be in a certain frequency. So we don't see those places. We don't have those experience. We can't go to those places because humanity has not been at the frequency yet. However, the frequency of Earth has been rising and rising, which means that human beings, your body, each of our own body is actually being shifted and changed molecularly. And so at some point, we will be in the right frequency that we can start to go into those places. So that's what I mean by larger Earth, is those places actually already exist. It has always been there, and I know has always been there. It's just that we're not at the right frequency, so we can't go there. There's always been, I would say rumors or legends that people go to find, Shangri-La. So why some people can get there? Some people, um, it it's been rumored, and the people that have the right frequency, when they go there, they may be allowed to go in to visit shortly. However, usually they cannot permanently live there. They can only go there, visit shortly, and then they will have to be, kicked out because our frequency has not been able to match that. And the people that have been able to shift their own frequency to the place where they can actually go in and out of, different spaces, then they can choose to stay there. However, because of all this phenomenon, because the earth itself is shifting, that's why we're beginning to be able to see those things. Because those unidentified flying objects has always been there. It's just that we're not in the right frequency to see them. But now that uh, Earth itself has shifted and our own body has shifted enough that some of us is starting to see them. That's why they've been coined UFO or UAPs. It's not unidentified. It's just that, they are not part of our reality for such a long time. So for us, they are unidentified, but they are just other inhabitants of this playground. And this playground has many levels. So, and also there has been, I would say, there's been some collaboration between certain governments with these, I would say, other races that are on Earth. And so there have been some technology exchanged. This is going back, decades. Now, some governments has already have that. They know that already. And they have reverse engineered some of these, I would say, technologies. So that's why there are the suggestion is that if you see or if on the news there's some UFO landing, I would be very wary of that because the real inhabitants, other inhabitants, they will not do something like that. That is in violation of our um our civilization because we're not at the point where we like we're not at the point where most people would be comfortable to be talking to a Pleiadian, for example. So and that's why if over the next year or two there's talk of some UFO landing, then more likely than not they would be actually these shadow government entities that is trying to use this as you know, as a crisis, creating a crisis. So, plus you would a real, I would say a real alien, their frequency is so different from us that there's no mistake. You can recognize it, or at least I can recognize it because these when if you're sensitive to energy, you would be able to sense it. You can tell that, okay, this person is emitting very different energies. So, questions, comments before I go on? Okay. So I've already talked a little bit about larger Earth concept, but because this is coming, so mainstream media will start to seed these ideas. I can think of things like I can think of things like Avatar. The movie Avatar can be one. I would say can be an example of the larger Earth is maybe not. Okay, I don't remember the Avatar story. Um, However, that is like it's kind of like that, where when we're able to go to a different reality, different from us, because in that frequency they used how they see the environment is very different from what we see. Um, Larger Earth concept would start to be seeded in mainstream media. They would use terms like larger reality, beyond Antarctica, extracontinental Earth, so outer continents or greater Earth or expanded Earth, uncharted areas. So, so these are some of the words that will start to come up in media. So seeding of that idea. And right now we think of Earth as being, different countries. However, that's actually unnatural. As the natural is that there is no borders. And one day, we're not there yet, but one day we would be able to go all over Earth, go all over, and there will be no borders. How long is that going to take before we get there? I don't know, depending on how much we can all stay in the light paradigm as much as possible, because we can influence that. If you like the idea of being able to travel to any parts of the earth without needing things like a passport or a visa, then commit to staying in the light paradigm. And that is going to come a little sooner than um, what it can. So, questions?
Franco always talked about that.
Hmm?
Franco always talked about that
Mm-hmm.
at Kingston the first time, like when there were like lots of people, and he asked people, "How would you be feel if you can go anywhere in the world anytime you want?"
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And people thought about money, and then Antonia said, "No, no, no, we're going into the negative now. As soon as money is mentioned, the energy would drop."
Yes. We have so many programs around money. Yeah.
In that big, huge room, she really stopped it. She said, "No, we are not going there."
Uh-huh. Uh, that's why it's very important to release misalignments, especially around money.
Another
Any
thing I
other?
always think about is he would say, "We have the choice. We have the choice." Even a small child being raped has the choice to say no.
Yeah.
We didn't understand that at that time, right?
We have a lot more power than we give ourselves credit for.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's move on. Financial. Okay, so I'm gonna focus on, well, this is the general idea. So I cannot give you, and I will not give you any financial advice, but just to let you know that, there's been rumors about, financial collapse. And a new financial system is going to come about. We're going to have cryptos, blah blah blah, all that. And so there's been a lot of talk about crisis, crisis, crisis. And just want to let you know that that is all just a manipulation. There, and so far the financial market has not crashed yet. Why? Because if it crashed, then it actually is going to set us back more than move us forward. One day, though, there is going to be a shift. So there are different financial structures being worked out in the I would say in the background. And what does that mean? I don't know. I just know that there are people out there that has kind of thought about it, and it's not just one person or one group of people, but uh, there are different groups of people that are trying different things. Crypto is one of them. However, there are others as well that tries, different systems to be a transition for humanity to, because right now we still we still need money for paying rent, buying food, that kind of stuff. So that is a way, I would say, a very easy way to get us to go into fear and to slow down the light paradigm taking over. So the light paradigm is here to stay. However, the dark paradigm is still trying to delay as much as possible by, talking about fear and like words like tsunami, Godzilla. So those are all words for describing different financial crisis. We don't need to live in fear because the our true self have no fear. Fear is something that we play with. And if you don't want to live in the dark paradigm, then process your own fear, whether it is around finance or anything else. Anytime you feel you are afraid of something, then process your own fears. Release it and release whatever misalignments, whatever karmic experiences you may have. Those before for on the finance front, then when you have released those fear, then you're able to create a different reality for yourself. However, there is one thing that I I would recommend for people who can afford it is land ownership would be a good investment. So land, I don't mean, buying a condo. I mean actually buying a piece of land, especially a piece of land that you can grow your own food. That is highly recommended. So land ownership is recommended. Other than that, I'm not giving any other financial advice. So questions, comments? Excellent.
On,
That's
on another note, Vinny,
what?
on another note, what you said earlier, like if Earth becomes one, does that mean it becomes one piece again?
Does does it mean become one what?
Like all the continents are separated, yeah? Does it merge like into one?
Physically all merge into one?
Yeah,
That
think
I'm
so.
not sure.
No,
That I don't know.
but like they say, the souls will become one. So why not the Earth?
Um, Not necessarily.
No, okay, right. Just wondered.
I haven't actually um anywhere that says that Earth actually would become one, all the continents is going to come together. I have not heard that plan yet.
Right.
It does not mean that, is not going to happen. Just I have not heard it, so
Yeah, that's what I was asking. Just if you have heard, come across anything.
I have not come across that.
Mhm. Right. Go ahead. Thank you.
Anything else? Okay, moving on. Health. Okay. Well, um, health situation. Health is actually a part of the process of the split. So what you believe about health is going to kind of tell you mm, where you are in the journey in terms of ascension, because your body, including your health, is actually a reflection of your thinking. So if your body is relatively healthy, then you know that your belief system is on the whole is good enough for you to maintain your own body. So the more you find your body out of whack, the more you may want to find out what conflicts, internal conflicts you have that is manifesting itself as an illness in your body. So for some people who have chosen to continue to play in the light dark, um, they mm, because Earth is going to be just light, so they're gonna have to leave at some point. They it's one of the easiest way to do is to just manifest some sort of an illness that will just kill them off. So that is what, how come the last couple of years, health has been such a big topic because health is kind of the easiest way to put us into fear. And so that has been used. So if you want to stay in the light, then create a relationship with your body that will allow you to also create your own healing story. So when you work with your body, when you process your own emotions that is not supporting your health, when you start to um, do things for your body that supports it, then your body will respond by being able to heal itself. So, how your relationship with your body and the health front is kind of a reflection of where you are in the split. So focus on your own health and stay strong because when you look at your body, when you do things for your body and how it responds, then you will know that you are actually on the right path. And the more you say treat your body as a slave, then it is going to not work as well. So create a loving relationship with your body, create a healing story for yourself. When you start to do that, your body will respond by, I would say, becoming more receptive to treatments. Any other questions or comments? Okay. Weather modification. Okay. So, this is kind of a sign is I don't know whether you know or not, but there are technologies that can change the weather, that can create certain weather. And there can be all of a sudden there will be the weather can be modified. So that has been in the background. There's something called HAARP. I don't know whether you guys have heard of it. HAARP as HAARP. It is a machine that can shoot different energies into the sky that will start to create weather conditions. So, and when it can also be used to create things like, let's say, a earthquake as well. So these are all things that we have the technology to do it currently. So you may hear that there is something like this during the year, is that there's going to be a weather modification emporium. Emporium is kind of like a conference like that. So there's a belief that Earth can be controlled, and how to and the keys to control Earth is for sale. And so is there a technology that can do that? Yes, definitely. But can they actually do it without repercussion? No. There's going to be repercussion, and the repercussion may not be something that definitely it's not something that I want to find out. So Earth itself is there are people, there are entities, I wouldn't say people, there are beings that safeguard what humanity can or cannot do to it. And so that is coming. However, for our part, for people who wants to stay in the light paradigm, is to just process your own fear about this, that, that we are at the mercy of these weather modification machines. So process your own fear and know that Earth, this playground has it can defend itself, that there are supporters for Earth. So process your own fear around this. Questions? Okay. Religious leaders and shadow figures. Oh, okay. Well, let's do this first. Okay, religious leaders and shadow figures. Sometime within the year, there will be some sort of talk about, people. There's actually the Black Pope. I've actually heard of the Black Pope. Shadow Cardinal, I don't think I've heard of that. I have not heard of the Great Eminence yet, but I don't usually watch the news, so maybe they have already talked about these, but sometime during the year, these would be brought up again. And so religion, on the religion front, there's going to be a lot of manipulation as well, to make the long story short. So this is part of the light dark paradigm trying to maintain control. So if you want to stay in the light, then you have to ask yourself, or start to really ask yourself, what is God to you? And because as far as I know, we are all, I'm not saying I am, I'm saying that we are all, each and every one of us, we are all an aspect of God. We maybe not maybe not the egoic personality, but definitely our soul, our largest soul, is an aspect of God. And the more you can start to communicate with that part of yourself, with your own soul, then the more you start to learn what God truly is. Questions, comments? Okay, next, 5G, 6G. So 5G 6G, I have not heard of 6G yet, but 6G is coming. So those are all. So if you have a choice is to go back, do not subscribe to the 5G, and do not subscribe to even 6G. And if you have to do any of these, then make sure you do proper detox. Sauna is very good. Infrared lights, sauna, very good. Salt baths. And also there may be other detox methods. So do those regularly to support your own body. Move to rural areas as well, if possible. Not everyone can do that. But if you are so called, then move to at least less populated areas. Comments? Okay, that's it. Those are the major topics that I want to talk a little bit about. Conclusion. So conclusion is that this is the year that you will start to see more evident that there's actually two paradigms being played out. And the more you stay in the light, I would highly suggest you stay more in the light. However, that's your choice, and there's no good, no bad about it. Everyone is the master of their own journey. So this is so for those of you who call yourself light workers, is to do what you come here to do, is do your best to stay in the light. So what is the light? The light is your own truth. It is not drama. So if you find your life very up and down, very dramatic, then something is off. If you find yourself suffering, then something is off. If you're in pain, something is off. If you're living in fear, then something is off, because the real you, the true truth of you is none of these. You exist as an aspect of God, and you can create your own reality. And if you don't believe you can create your own reality, then definitely something is off. So, questions, comments?
Thank you, Vinny.
This is all happening in this year or in the coming years?
In this year. This year.
In this year. Oh.
Yeah, this is what the human collective has kind of planned for this year. So watch for those. And when you notice them, then you know, I've already talked about, for staying the light paradigm, what you need to do. So
Yeah, some things, a lot of things is very difficult to do. How just move, yeah. The density, population density will have nowhere to go. You just say 4G, 5G. I watch my phone, that's 6G. Oh my God.
of
Oh,
course they're gonna sell it to you and say, okay, 5G is faster. You get all these extra.
you cannot escape
Yeah.
in here because that's a lot. The population density is high, and there's a cell phone tower nearby, and
Mhm.
it's no more 4G. It's no more 5G. My phone is saying 6G.
Well, then do detox.
Oh
If
my
you cannot
God.
avoid, then do detox. So treat your body nice. And
When I bought my house, I did have a pre-request that I got like one quarter of acre land that I got. I can have a small garden, but generally here the density, population density is very high. And the cell phone tower is so close by, my God.
there are if you're really concerned about that, you can research. I heard that there are actually some specialized paint that can screen out some of these things.
Yeah, I got
Remember,
some
What
ground.
do you mean paint?
the frequency that's coming through for 6G, 5G, 6G, those, yeah. You,
Where you can get it?
I don't know, but I've heard that there are certain paint,
I
specialized
I
paint.
also I bought it's not a really a clothes, some kind of cover, bad cover. It said it can reduce EMF or something like that.
Hmm.
I don't know how useful it is.
Well, try it out. If you feel better, then it has some use.
Yeah, I did buy grounding sheet. It's a piece of something, and you can grounding you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But
Yeah. And do detox if you can't avoid the technology, then regularly do detox.
You mean salt baths and sauna?
Yeah.
Infra lamp, right?
yeah, years ago, I think it's 7, 8 years ago, I read about the story a doctor said. At that time, I already aware that that doctor moved to a very, very remote area. So that place only have 2G, 3G cell
Mm.
phone. And he also never used the cell phone close to himself. It's,
Hmm.
yeah, whatever.
I think that doctor knows something.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I had to remind me, and I try not. Then after a while, I forgot all those, and every day carry my cell phone.
That's why when I never have my cell phone turned on when, you know, when it's close to my body. I usually turn it off when it's close to my body, and when I'm in the house where I can just leave my cell phone in one place, then I will turn it on again. So it's never on my body and on at the same time.
Yeah,
My
yeah,
body just
yeah.
cannot handle it.
I saw that said a professor in university, I forgot, Washington University or what. He's like never refuse use cell phone because the next the lab next door doing some research. After he knows that result, he refused. I remember several days, then I forgot.
Yeah.
I carry my cell phone everywhere.
Mhm.
Me too. I carried it everywhere.
Yeah.
Who doesn't?
They have to turn it
Everybody.
on. Sorry, go
Yeah.
ahead, Manas.
No, I said who doesn't carry it with themselves? Everyone nowadays they carry it because it's something necessary. Sometimes it's good to be safe. Uh, for some reason, it's better to have it always, even during the night. I always have it with me.
No, I never carry my cell phone into my bedroom. That's the rule. I never
I
do.
have to because if something happened during the night, then I need to call someone and ask
Yeah,
for help.
me too. I have it next to my bed.
Oh,
Yeah.
I
Turn it
never do
on
that.
when you need
I never
to
do that.
call. You don't have to have it on. Have it on when you need it.
Mm. Yeah.
But anyways, you do you. You do you.
Yeah.
I would never have my cell phone on in my bedroom, so
Mhm.
So
That,
how you wake up? I have everything there. I have alarms there. I
Yeah.
have everything.
ah,
During the night, if I have insomnia, I'm watching YouTube.
Yeah. Yeah, me too.
I never do that.
mhm. Well, it's your body, so you make your own choices.
Right. Mm.
Okay, so
They trained us this way, unfortunately, and now we cannot get rid of that habit.
um that's only a belief. I don't buy that. I For me, it's like I uh cell phone is the tool, so I would turn it on when I need it, but otherwise I don't try to use it. I don't
Mhm.
rely on it.
No, you're right. If we can do that, that would be the best way. Hopefully, we can do as you do. This is a very good way.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Detox.
Winnie, we're gonna have meditation tonight or any transmission.
Any kind of meditation? Well, if you want, sure, we can.
Yes.